Sam Merrill made 11 threes this season against the Orlando Magic. He had his best game of the season against the Orlando Magic. He has been a roller coaster ride of minutes for JB Bickerstaff this season, coming off the bench, playing 20, 25 minutes a game, then having 4 or 5 DMPs back to back to back to back. Jason, I stressed this during the segment we did before Kendra joined us. Spacing is key against the Orlando Magic. So I will ask you this question. Does Sam Merrill have a role in this Cavs rotation or against Orlando in the first round?
Not yet, but he could. He's not going to be at the start. Now, if Isaac's missing shots, if Bad Karras shows up, if Yang's over 3, Sam Merrill's going to get minutes in the series, and then it's up to him. So I don't trust him because, number one, I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. He's clearly the 10th man in this rotation, 11th man in this rotation, and you're probably going to play 8.
8.5.
Yeah. 9, trust 8. You play 9 and you trust 8 type thing. And it's different. Like we talked about it with Okoro, and it's different hitting shots in April than it is in January and February. And Sam Merrill's a terrific shooter, and if he gets hot, he could make a name for himself in this series. I don't know that he's going to get the minutes and the opportunity, and then without having seen him do it before, it's just hard. Like if you're giving me 4 or 5 shooters on the list that I'm trusting just because of the stakes and the guys that have been here before, he would be last on my list. But he also has, just because he hasn't done it, but he also has the opportunity, to jump to number 1 on that list. If he gets hot, he's making shots.
I trust him for one game. I think he'll have one game where he'll really hit a lot of threes. He'll come in and be a spark, hit some threes because, like you say, Niang and everybody else isn't hitting the threes. Okoro isn't hitting threes. He'll come in. He'll hit like 3 or 4 of them. But then after that, he might go get 1 a game.
Let me tell you, I actually think I have more faith in Sam Merrill this series than I probably should, A, and then B, you guys for sure. He was 11 and 19 from 3 against Orlando in 2 games this season. We just showed the highlights. He had 6 threes in 1 game at 26 points. Absolutely cooked them. That was the first game I can remember where they ran a Donovan Mitchell, Sam Merrill little pick and roll against Jalen Suggs, and it had him in hell. He didn't know what to do. He took 1 half baby step to the left. Sam Merrill slid out for a little pop-up 3, and he was too late to recover because Sam Merrill's trigger is so quick. I think JB, and I'm serious about this, I think he has to find minutes for Sam Merrill in the first or second quarter just to see how he's shooting. If he makes 1 or 2, you let him play more. If he misses the first 2, not his day, take him out. But unlike some other matchups Cleveland could have had in the first round, if Sam's on the court, the opponent is going to isolate him out defensively. However, I don't think there's anyone in Orlando's backcourt that I'm particularly worried about Sam Merrill trying to stay in front of. If you're telling me he has to guard Gary Harris, I'm okay with that. If he's guarding even Jalen Suggs to an extent, Jalen's a good offensive player, but if Jalen wants to go one-on-one all game, I think you live with that from the Cavaliers' standpoint. So I think his offense and his ability to stretch the floor and space the court to allow Darius and Donovan to do more is crucial. He has to prove he can make those shots, granted, but I don't think teams can take advantage of him like a New York could, like an Indiana could, like even a Milwaukee could, or Boston definitely could take advantage of Sam on the other end of the court. So I'm a little more inclined to give him a little longer leash early in the game to see if he can have one of those flamethrower nights where he goes 6 of 10 for 3 in 12 minutes of game action.
I don't want to boil it down to one stat or one category. I tend to feel that whoever shoots better from 3 is going to win the series.
Yeah.
It really is that. These are two, and we've talked about it before, that these are 2 defensive-minded teams, but defense isn't necessarily what gets you to win playoff games in series. It's shot making. You got to make shots. And that's what there is nothing wrong with the Cavs defensively. Go back and look at the Knicks scoring totals from those games. The Cavs defense was fine. It was their inability to make shots is what cost them that series. And here they are against another tough, physical, defensive-minded team in Orlando where it's going to come down to shot making. And we talked about it on the podcast. Orlando doesn't really have a ton of great shooters that you really have to fear from the three-point line. The Cavs, I believe, are the better shooting team. That's why I'm picking them. But I just think it's probably the way I'm sitting here now, 2 days out from the start of the series, whoever shoots it better from 3, probably going to win the series.
I like that, actually. I never thought about it from that standpoint. That was the one thing that we were missing, and they are pretty even when it comes to shooting threes. Listen, Sam Merrill, like I said, he's going to have a good game. one good game. But if he comes out and be that spark and they do find minutes for him and he hitting like that, I think the Cavs, my Cavs in 6 will go to Cavs in 4.
Sometimes all you need is 1-3.
Yeah.
That's all you – go back and look at the Game 7 when the Cavs won the championship against Golden State. They couldn't make a friggin' shot, and JR hit like 2 threes.
No,
and it's all they needed.
Game 7 when they beat – that's when Draymond looked like Steph Curry from Trey.
Draymond is just one game he shot threes at
my goodness.
But that – like JR hit like 2 threes that just settled in the second half.
That's what he was
kept them
for.
within range, settled everybody down. Sometimes in a playoff game – everything can turn on 1 or 2 baskets. That's all you need is just 1 or 2 big baskets.
Are you saying Sam Merrill is too big?
No, I don't think he'll be the one to hit him. But he could be.
Well, he could be. It has to be somebody.
He's got him and, I mean, Karras probably has the widest range.
You know
of
who it's going
variance.
to be? Darius Garland.
Could be.
I hope so.
Number 10. Do your thing.
Jason's mentioned this a few times. If you missed the Ultimate Cavs show from Tuesday, go back. We went way more in depth than we kind of have on any specific game.
Mike did an
this season.
unbelievable job with film breakdown of Paolo Banchero and tendencies and weaknesses and what to look for with him. It was fascinating. He does a phenomenal job. I turn my computer on, sit down, and start talking, and this man puts in hours of work on film.
I appreciate that, but go check it out on Tuesday. One thing, and this brings back to this conversation, and I'm going to mention Paolo to bring back to where we're talking about with Sam Merrill and what Kendra mentioned. Paolo's their best offensive player by far. It's not really close. He averages 23 points a game.
Yeah.
He's the best player, best offensive player, all the above. He takes a ton of long twos. That's kind of his game. He's not really a three-point shooter. He wants to get to the cup. If he's driving right, if he's dribbling with his right hand, he's going to the cup. He wants to drive every time. If he hits it in the left hand, he wants to do a little step-back jumper. Like, it's not crazy rocket science. That's just kind of how Paolo attacks.
That's what Mike said
You can't
about
let
LeBron.
And I mentioned to Jason, there's a little tiny shade of LeBron and Paolo, a tiny little shade. You can't let the other guys on Orlando beat you. If Paolo wants to make 15 step-back twos, throw your hand up, tip your cap, Paolo, congratulations. But you can't let Gary Harris and Jalen Suggs and Caleb Houston and Wendell Carter and Franz Wagner and Joe Ingles get open looks on the perimeter that end up killing you. And we looked at their numbers. They don't have a single player on the roster shooting over 40% from 3 that takes at least 3 a game. That's not a high volume in today's day and age, Tyvis. That's a low volume. They don't have a single player at 40% or better from 3 who takes at least 3 threes per game. If Paolo wants to get his, fine, so be it. The other guys aren't the ones that can beat you, in my opinion. They can only make so many long twos. That's not going to beat you. The other guys can't be the ones to do it.
I'm still going back to three-point shooting because I was thinking back to the Knicks series last year, and it was rebounding, and they knew it. The Cavs knew,
my God!
But the Cavs knew going into that series that they were at a disadvantage and they were going to have to control the glass. I don't know that it's rebounding this. I do worry about them getting pushed around inside a little bit Orlando's big.
A good rebounding team.
Orlando's big.
I hear you, but
it just
there's
feels
no way that they gonna do it again.
It just feels like 3-point, and maybe I'm way off, and rebounding is going to tell the tale again. But I just feel like it's going to come down to 3-point shooting. Cavs have far more of it now than they did last year.
Orlando's 7th in the NBA in defensive rebounding rate, 2nd in offensive rebounding rate.
So they're good on the glass.
Cavs were 14th and 22nd, by the way.
They better go old school basketball 1-on-1. When the ball goes up, find your dude, turn around, and box out. That's where we should be at.
And I also want to see him run, push the pace. Got to get out in transition. That half-court defense for Orlando is very difficult to match up with. And speaking of matchups, Ant, this next clip from LeBron, it's going to be a hell of a tease, was all about one specific matchup. Give us a read. I'll tell you what happens next.